Hello everybody, it is Christine. It is time for my BoBunny Stash Bash, and this is it's my very last, where's the date on this thing? 2014 collection. It's called Pop Quiz, and I'm not going to lie, I am bored with this collection. So I'm so glad. I'm going to make this the very last layout. It's it's a school collection, but I'm not going to use it for school. As you can see my picture here. Again, sorry you guys are going to see lots of chicken things, but the chickens are just kind of, I wouldn't say they're my life, but they're definitely some of the most interesting points sometimes. We had to move. We ended up with, we had bought 11 Barred Rock chickens, and 7 of them turned out to be boys, y'all. That is not a good ratio, 7 to 4. So we moved 5 of them into the bachelor pad, which was the goat pen. That's one of the little goats. That's actually Janet. She's kind of a stinker. So we got 5 roosters and a nanny here is basically the deal. Now, I will tell you, bachelor number 5, one of these, I can't tell which one got the picture. He keeps escaping back into the original pen, and we think he has a favorite hen over there. So we're debating on what to do there. May just let him stay. They do fight, though, him and the big one. We have one called Big Boy now because he's the biggest of the 7. So anyways, this is the picture I'm going to document. This is the papers I have left. I have 2 full size, like a little yellow one here and this little gray one. So I'm going to basically, I'm going to put this inside this. I do not know if I'm going to cut that out because I don't want to add any papers. But I might want to photo mat it. I'm not sure. And then I think what I'm going to do is, these are like long skinnies, right? So I think I'm going to just do something. My goal when I do the ends of kits like this is to try not to have to cut anything, or really not cut much. Let me put it that way. I want to use the scraps as is. I think it's kind of an interesting challenge when we do that. So I'm thinking I'll cut this here. I may actually bring this in and make a banner, but that's kind of that. And then I may do this because it looks like, y'all, that looks like fencing. Isn't that neat? The problem is I just don't think I need, I don't think I need 3 of them. Let me see if I stick this one behind there. What does that do? I don't know. It's not bad because I kind of want to put the picture here, and because they're looking that way. So maybe that's what we do. I'll trim that down. That's actually kind of cute. We'll just won't be using this, I guess. So these will be my scraps over here. We'll see if I even keep these. These may go in the garbage. Not much left. I do have a little red piece here. Do I want to use it for anything? Maybe something like this. Possibly. Again, I could make another little banner maybe. Not sure. And then I do still have, I have some stuff in here. Like this is just some, I have another one of these too. And what are those? Are those rub-ons? I might could use the ruler. I don't know. These are so old. I'm wondering if they're going to work. I could try one I'm not going to use and then see if it works. And then also I have these little pieces like this. The thing is they're a little bit too, I'm not sure if they're like chickeny. You know what I mean? This could work. I could write my journaling on there. That's a lot of layers right there. Maybe I don't. I'll have to see about this. I do like the red with this, though. Maybe I'll layer it like this. A couple different. But then I can't do my journaling, can I? I'll think on this piece because I kind of do want it in there. But I kind of come back to this, actually. Yeah, like that, maybe. Okay. Let me do my trimming and stuff, and I'll be back on, and then we will do some embellishing. Oh, I still have a little bit of this as well. We'll dig in that, too. It's a lot of school stuff, like I said. I do also still have stickers. I have a couple of arrows, and like this little bracket thing's kind of cool. I might use that. May even bring this guy in because it's a wood piece. I don't know, though. I may stick these stickers in my sticker. I don't know. We'll see. Let me cut this down. I'll be right back. You guys, I got so aggravated with this layout. I don't, okay, so I've kind of got the vertical pieces going on here, and I'm happy with those. I actually really like the vertical pieces, and I like that horizontal stripe. it's all the layers that I'm trying to use with the photo that it just, I don't know, y'all. I just was really struggling with this. And I ended up cutting away because I got so frustrated with it. I just felt like nothing, I don't know what it was. Like, I think actually I do. That's a lie. So that piece right there that's got that brown background with that notebooky punch, it really felt out of place for me. It just was not the right color. I know it's in the collection, but it really wasn't the right color palette. It just wasn't right. And I thought to myself, I'll use it for the journaling. That's not actually where I ended up putting the journaling, by the way. And everything, it just, I don't know. It just really boggled my brain. And I messed with this, and I probably should have cut it out if I'm honest, but I'm going to tell y'all some stories about the chickens. So it's okay. I'm going to leave this in here. Just rest assured, I probably spent 15, 20 minutes bare minimum moving these layers all over the place, like just messing with them and fastening with them and looking for stuff. And also, by the way, I got off into the embellishments, and I messed with the flowers, and you'll see that in just a minute. Just nothing in what was coming with this collection was going to work for me. Like and I don't really have an issue doing non-themey things with themes or whatever, but it just, no. And so you'll see, I'm going to do some other things. So I'll tell you some chicken stories here while you're watching me mess with this. I tried this little gray thing. I thought it might work. No, it's going to come off, and I end up throwing it away. I get so aggravated with it. And that's kind of sad too, because it's a really giant bracket, which could be fun in another lifetime. In another lifetime, because it's not going to work there. I'm looking at that going, oh gosh, Christine. So the chickens, I don't remember what I said down in the intro. I'm so sorry. This has been since a whole full-on day has passed, which normally a layout for me doesn't take but 45 minutes to an hour, usually maximum. And this one's been a struggle, guys. It's a struggle bus, because I'm going to go through all these. You see how very much school-oriented it is? I try to find even a piece of like, another little card or something I can stick. I do find these little banner pieces, and I almost used them, but I end up not using them. And so anyways, let me tell you about the chickens. So we got these 5, you can see in the photo, there's 5 chickens. There's 5 boy chickens. So we got 11 barred rock. So barred rock is the breed. You can see it's like, well, there's a flash or the shininess on the photo right now, but you'll see it at some point. It's the black and white patterned chicken with a red little, I call them giblets. That's not really right. I don't know what the little word is. That's their little chin dangly thing, and their crown. Darn it, I knew the name of that too, and I forgot it too. But it's their little face. It's the little red stuff. They got the red and then the black and the white. And they're beautiful birds. Actually, quite large birds. I'm kind of proud of them, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we've done a good job raising these birds. But we had 7 boys and 4 girls, and that's just not a thing. You cannot do that. They fight each other all the time. It was just not a happy environment for them. So we've moved them. We got some advice from a local lady. She has tons of chickens. Because we ask, okay, what can we do with this, that? And she said, I put mine in a bachelor pad, and then, I mean, technically you can eat them, but I'm like, I raised these chickens. I don't want to eat them, which is about the silliest thing ever, but I'm like, oh no. So she says you can put them in a bachelor pad. So initially we were going to build a whole new fence, and then I was looking up on it. It says, chickens and goats do just fine together. And we have pygmy goats. They're not real big. You can see in the photo that's her name's Janet, and she is full grown. So she's not much bigger than the chicken, if I want to tell the truth about it. So, and again, it's a little shiny on there, but you'll see it at some point when the photo gets kind of moved around. But she's sitting on top of the little, it's like an old doghouse, honestly. They just love those things. They climb up on it, and there's a plank coming off because Seth has built them a little play deal. The goats love to run across the plank and jump and all that kind of stuff, and even the chickens do too now. But we moved them in there, and it was going well in the sense like they're not fighting or anything like that. Well, the chickens kind of fuss at each other a little bit, but the goats don't care. They walked over and smelt the chicken and wandered off. The issue we ran into is the goats want into the chicken food. So we could not leave it in a regular old chicken thing. So we've kind of engineered this deal, and I'll probably do a layout about it because I think it's working. We think it's working okay. We found some stuff on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And then the other issue we have is bachelor number 5. I'm calling him bachelor number 5. You might call him Houdini. That might be his new name. That little booger has jumped the fence because the other chicken coop is built adjacent to the goat pen. That little booger has figured out a way to jump over the fence back into the main pen area twice now. And the local lady, and again, if you're a chicken expert, you feel free to comment and everything. We're kind of living life as it is. But she's commented that sometimes chickens find a mate. Like they find their hen and they're happy because the other 4 are not jumping the fence. they don't care. They're happy where they're at. But number 5, bachelor number 5, keeps jumping the fence into the original one where we just left what we call, his name's Big Boy. He was the biggest rooster. And then there was I want to call him an underdeveloped, but a little smaller rooster. And he's in there, and this other one keeps jumping in. So anyways, we now have 4 in this one and 3 in the others. And I don't know that we'll move him back. We'll see how things go. So anyway, this whole layout here, you can kind of see now what I've done. I did all the layers, but I changed on the left-hand side where I had that little notebook paper brown colored thing for this big yellow tag. That was in that noteworthy stuff. It technically has a little embellishment kind of inside that blue and white thingy, but I've hidden it behind the photo, and I like this a lot. This is much better. It's in the color palette. And then I did go over to my silhouette. I did purchase a couple of cut files because there was cute little chickeny ones. So this says, welcome to our coop. Only the 2 hour, when I cut it, I had to cut a little bit small, and 2 hour was a little too small, and it kind of tore. So I pulled out some little foam letters to do 2 hour. And then I had the little chickens. And so you can kind of see what's happened is the white part of the outline of the chicken obviously was from the cut file. And then there's that inner part, which was white also, and had like little holes in it. But our chickens, what I decided to do was mount it with black, or, you know, what do you call that? Filled the cut file with the black paper from this collection. And then I'm going to use, or I have done, you can already see on the right-hand side, I used a white pen to go where the holes are and used it to basically see where I could draw little feathers. And so I went through and I used a white pen and I've drawn little feathers. And then I have a red marker there that I'm going to color the little, again, I'm calling them giblets. That's not the right word, but the little facial things. And then I use my yellow mild liner there to color his little beak and his little feet. And I'm so much happier with these embellishments, you guys. I was really annoyed. I was like, I can't find anything that works it just wasn't working for me. And after I found my little chickens here, I'm so much happier. I'm so much happier. These little chickens are so cute. I know I'm going to need more chickens. So, you know what? That's totally, buying this little file was totally fine for me. And, welcome to our coop could be used actually about our home and everything too if I want to. But I really like the little title, and I'm happy with my little chickens. I'm not going to lie. I was like, okay, these are cute. So I'm going to finish these up. I'm kind of showing you what I'm doing with the little white pen going through the little holes there to just make my feathers. Again, I could have glued this on top. They're typically, it's hard to, they're not black with white, although they kind of are. They're almost white with black also. Either one, they're kind of almost like a zebra in a way. You don't know what color they really are. I don't know. They could be called zebra chickens, couldn't they? They're not really. They're barred rock. But anyways. And then you can see I'm kind of coloring the little faces and all that. I'll also add a little eye with my white pen. And I'm going to end up putting these in a little visual triangle. So you'll see in just a second, I'm going to use foam. I'm going to put foam behind the chickens because I did want to do a little bit of dimension. And I'll build myself a little visual triangle. This is me kind of finishing up the coloring. Oh, no, that's me putting the eyeballs on them. And then I'm going to glue these, like I said, coloring the faces and stuff like that. I'm really loving our chickens, though. I mean, I saw a cut file. I may actually have to get it. It's a crazy chicken lady. I get so tempted, you guys. If we run over to the Tractor Supply to buy some kind of feed or some little something, they have these little baby chickens in there all the time, and there's different little breeds and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, those are so cute. And they're so fuzzy, you guys. They're so sweet, and they're little chirps. And then now what we have is all these roosters, right? So you guys, the cock-a-doodle-dooing out there is, it starts at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. They're cock-a-doodle-dooing. They're just carrying on. And what's really funny to me is Big Boy has a real, I want to call it a tenor, cock-a-doodle-doo. It's like this, right? And then we have one, it sounds like when you squeeze one of them rubber chickens. He goes, cock-a-doodle-doo. He's so funny. And then there's another one that sounds like he's a full-on lifetime smoker. They do have different little voices. That's what I find interesting. And so I can tell now which ones are cock-a-doodle-dooing because they do it all the time. And I'll go, oh, there's Big Boy, or there's, I guess, Bachelor number 5 or whatever. They're just funny. I think I call one of them Squeeze Toy. I don't know. I can't tell by looking physically at them necessarily because they kind of look the same to me. I mean, Big Boy looks different and Junior looks different. The other ones kind of look very similar, but their voices are definitely different. And then we have these little silkies, and you guys, I will definitely, and I say silkies, they're bantams. And I will definitely be doing a layout about those because they all have different markings, and they're just the cutest things. Okay, now what I've got going on is sequins, you guys. I decided, I don't know, I had to do something else, and I had a little sequin mix that had some red, white, and black in there, and so I have just sprinkled a bunch of sequins on there, glued that down, and you can see my journaling in the far bottom down there, where it just talks about the fact we had too many roosters and we had to move them and all that. So Y'all, that's my BoBunny stash bash. I will not be using this collection anymore. I am so done with it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the embellishments. I'll file them away and see what happens. But thank you guys for watching and listening to my chicken stories. And we will see you next time. Bye.